I'm more like I'm more laid back usually, so don't worry. We are not in a crazy like interview. So what is your date of birth and stuff like that? No problem. So the first question gonna be, you know what? Maybe I should show you the question so you have an idea a little bit of where I'm going. Click.
I'm okay with either way.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a lot about how did you start with no code? What does it bring to your business? Like technical question also on what
Mm-hmm.
are the possibilities of no code? Because I'm a programmer myself. I'm a full stack
Mm-hmm.
developer, so I do a lot of things. But I also use no code in my project with digital marketing. And I wanted to know like if you knew a little bit of specificity with like webhooks, HTTP. I also took some of your posts that I have right here. Actually, I'm gonna show you, so you can explain maybe a little bit of. What are where are they? You have so much activity. What are those? Because I see only bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recognize this one and this one. So it's gonna be a lot of those type of question. So if we go
Yeah. Okay.
back to my list of question, business side of no code. I met a lot of people who do no code. Everybody is already talking about AI. I want to know: did you do no code first and then AI? And if you did, what did AI bring to your business as a no code plus AI? I'm curious.
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. So I started with no code tools before AI was even a thing. So I started. So I've launched my own businesses from since the last 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like so my very first brand, we had a lot going on, and I started like finding a way to make things more efficient. So that's how I got into no code automations, and I started with Zapier
Yes.
a while ago. That's actually something that I've shared in one of my latest posts. So that's how I got into automation. It was basically to fulfill a need of my own business, and I think that was very very important.
Mm.
Um, for my process, and then I started like experimenting, trying different tools, and then when I realized I didn't even know this was a thing. So I was just making things work for my own business, and then I realized, okay, I'm actually a developer, but I'm not using any code.
Yeah.
And then I realized this is an actual skill and it's valuable in the market. So and in the meanwhile, AI got into the mix, and I was one of I started using ChatGPT
Mm-hmm.
since the very beginning, but it was just basically to help me create stuff, and then I realized, well, they released their API, and when I start playing with that, I
Yeah.
realized like this combination is like it's amazing, like because you can basically just have AI to say in every step of the process, just say yes or no, or like left or right. So it can basically streamline a lot of our processes along the way. So that's how I combine the two, and now I really believe it's a very very powerful combo, and it's capable of doing amazing things.
Yeah, I'm very impressed because one of the things that basically how did I discover OpenAI and stuff like that. So I was the director of marketing of a small PME, so a medium-sized business in the south of Paris. And when discovered ChatGPT, we were like, okay, as a tool, it's amazing. We can do this. We can create article. We can make every ad that we need, all the posts that we need. But once we discovered on Make, I'm not a beginner on Make, but when I saw the thing that you do, I was like, I'm not at the same scale. But when I see on Make, when I discovered that you can just add a bubble, I'm gonna just put it here, add a bubble, and then you can do all this, send it by mail,
Yeah,
interact with your database. I was like, my God, it is amazing because before that we had to do everything by hand. It was always an operator which was with the chat GPT, try to how could I say that? It was just creating the article, putting on the website. It was really not
yeah.
automating. And then the next part, and that's why I wanted to ask you some question about the webhook, the HTTP, maybe like a little bit more for the coding side, because now I
Hmm.
know also that, for example, you can even automate even more. And one of my questions for you will be, what are your success story? what are the biggest or the best automation, what are the most popular automation that you produce, those type of questions will
Hmm.
be very interesting because, for example, you can auto-publish your article. You create it with like ChatGPT, depending on your topic, as many as you need, and then you can publish right away. So that would be my next question. I guess we can right
Yeah.
away fall into it. What are I'm gonna try to make it more clear because I talk a lot, so I'm trying to be more clear. What are the best success story that you have with no code and AI? What are the most popular services which are demanded to you with no code and AI?
Mhm. So success stories. I would say so one of the last products or bundles that we have launched with the brand I've created. So basically, okay, just a little bit of backstory. I
Mm.
got into AI automation with my own businesses, and then I
Yes.
realized this is a valuable skill. So I started working for some freelance gigs for other people. That's actually the first time I ever worked for other people. And it was
Yes.
very valuable because I worked with all sorts of industries, all sorts of countries. So I really learned a lot. And one of the clients I have, which is also my favorite one that I'm working with, basically, it's actually that photo that you just showed.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Is this one? Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
one part of it. So basically,
Amazing.
she asked me to automate the whole onboarding system for their clients. So basically, it's an agency that has several clients, and she was spending a lot of time with creating proposals, onboarding clients, creating the project in the project management tool so the delivery team could work, and like she wanted all this system to be cohesive and basically
Mm.
working together. And so basically I started working automation by automation, and it became like a bundle of 10 different automations that I was basically hired to develop.
Yeah.
And she was saying, this is amazing. Something that was taking me like a day per client now is taking me a few minutes. So I was like, whoa, okay, so this is actually it's value. This is it's a real thing that is happening for their side. So this is probably one of my biggest successes.
Mm.
But like very common. The other question, if I remember it correctly, very
Which are the
common.
the most like okay, so this is kind of a two-way question. That's very interesting that you asked you because maybe the question is too broad. The idea is that what are the services that you produce which create the most value and which are the most
Mhm,
popular and demanded, because sometimes especially I was in marketing for a long time and I was in coding, and a lot of people come with features demand that they have, and usually, to be honest, usually this is not the thing which create the most value. So first of all, what is the thing that create the most value, and then what is the most popular in terms of demand in your industry?
yeah. Luckily, I have a very broad like. There's not a specific automation that is very requested a lot of time. There's some certain areas that are requested more often. For example, automated social media. Everyone wants their social media automated without much effort, and this is very possible to do nowadays. Other very popular request is automated outreach. People
Okay.
that have a product or service that want to sell, and basically they want automated outreach, both on LinkedIn, cold emails, and so on. So those are very very popular areas. E-commerce, CRM integrations, all that is also um, very popular.
That's very interesting that you say that, because and this is a question a little bit more about the landscape and the ecosystem. And I think you're totally right. Bringing money, basically, it's the value that you propose is gaining time, simplifying business, and gaining money. I can totally see that, and it makes total sense. I got just a specific question: is if you make automation on LinkedIn, and we know that makes as a automation on LinkedIn. I am just showing on the screen for
Mhm.
people, like if they want your services. We have a lot of things that we can do. I just want to show, like, for example, if somebody is wondering for you on your website, what can you do for me? Well, on LinkedIn, we can create posts, we can update software, we can update page, we can make API call. There
Mhm.
is a lot of things that you can do. We can even get the statistic if you need for your team to simplify the works for the
Mhm.
workflow, especially when you have a lot of project management to do. So yeah, you can do a lot of things for that. My only question would be about the legality of LinkedIn. Is it a problem if you use automation tool to make some outreach to get customers to try to reach people? Is there like a legality? Because I know that they hate bots. What do you say?
Yes,
Yes.
they
Okay.
do hate bots. LinkedIn is very rigid with automations.
Yep.
There are some tools that, for example, there are some gray area tools that are not completely against their guidelines, but they have some workarounds. So, for example, I
Workaround.
have
I
two
like that.
automations for yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. My bad.
So yeah, I have basically two automations active for LinkedIn. One is for publishing that's done through their own APIs.
Mhm.
There's other that is for LinkedIn outreach that I was using way more before, because now they kind of reduced the amount of connections you can do via API. No, not via API. You just they reduce the amount of connections you can do with the free account. I
Mm.
don't have LinkedIn Premium. That's definitely on high on my list of upgrades.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of tools. So I use this Phantom Buster tool. Not sure if you ever heard of it.
I heard of
Uh,
this one. I heard, and actually, I heard some commercial people because it's amazing. You can reach, you can specify who you want to reach. You have also workflow,
yeah,
which is a little bit of no code when you think about it. We're gonna be
yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh, you accept it, so then I send you a message. I heard some people which lost their account because they pushed the tool too much. But I also heard some great stories. So I have to say, I'm kind of, I don't know for this one. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. So I use it, but since I have to respect LinkedIn limits, and LinkedIn limits are very low at the moment, so
Mm.
I just lost the motivation to use it, because it's like I, for outreach you can only do like, I don't know, it's like 10 requests a month or something like that.
Mm.
Um,
A month.
so it is a
Okay.
month. Yeah, I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
something like that.
Oh man.
It's something like that.
Yeah, that
It's
doesn't make
very low.
sense in terms of business. I get you. But
Yeah.
I understand what you mean in terms of like publishing content. Like automation is amazing for publishing content. We created a software. So we started with no code. We started making an article creation based on the context of our business. And one of the problem, because there is limitation of no code, and I'm gonna introduce the next part, I guess. I'm gonna talk, but it give you some time to prepare.
Okay.
So the limitation of no code, and how do you either thrive under it, so how do you find solution, how do you work around, how do you still keep creating value
Hmm.
despite the limitation. One of the limitation that we had is that we wanted to create 1,000 article. Let's imagine it needed to be precise on the business that we had, uh, the business, the industry, and then the business. And the problem is that in the prompt, so you have a limitation of text. We couldn't give everything. We had enough space to give the industry knowledge, a little bit about business, but it was never enough, as precise as it could be. So we created a
Hmm.
lot of article, but they were so generic. All they looked like each other, very similar, and so it was not concurrent on no code, which we could exploit in code because we had what we call multi-agent. So multi-agent is very easy in terms of no code. Is like, imagine you have one AI which creates all the article titles, and then you have another AI with a router. Like a router gonna give you the
Hmm.
chance to well, you know what a router is, but
Yeah.
no, repeater, I guess. A repeater gonna do the same action a certain amount of time, and you say like, oh, put that at the end in my database, which could be like Airtable or Excel. So yeah, you can do 50,000 article. And so yeah, we have limitation about that. So this is a story that we had. What are the limitations that you can meet when a customer tell you, I want that, I don't care, I want that? And usually, how do you like go above the limitation, or how do you solve? How do you figure it out? I'm very curious to hear your answer.
Yeah. So my most common limitation is a API function that doesn't exist. So that's something that my I know some people have told me that you can even create your API functions, like, but I'm like, my knowledge like hits a limit there.
Yeah.
So that's my most common. And but to be fair, I
I'm
believe
not
there's
fact
always a
checking.
way.
I'm just using AI to check online so we can know. No worries, it's not fact checking. You're not like I'm
No
not
worries, no
challenging
worries.
you. No worries.
I'm just curious of what tool is this.
Uh,
Fine.
I It's so I do events online myself, and this is one of the
Mhm.
best AI tool that you can have. I wish it was private. I wish it was mine, but I'm trying to give it to everybody because it helps so many people. So let's imagine, does the make automation tool have a custom API functionality? Hopla. So then, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna check in his database, like ChatGPT, standard ChatGPT, but then you're gonna check online, happen. So you're gonna grab everything, concatenate it, and then you're gonna give me an answer. So the information does not explain mention where. So either you're gonna give me or you're gonna give me that connecting make automation with some GPT.
Mhm.
So the answer might be gray. We're not sure, but it's very good. For example, if you say, "What are the most popular automation and data transformation process with no code?" So what do you say? What are the most popular automation and data transformation process in no code? And then they're gonna give you those information. So it's very good in terms of staying up to
Yeah,
date. You see, I'm giving you some stuff, Miguel, too. You
I'm
know,
learning. I'm learning. I'm learning.
exactly. So it's amazing. I will tell you, this tool is amazing, especially if you want to stay up to date, find a solution when you don't have the solution, and also make proposition for your customers. For example, give me some stats to convince a customer to use no code to treat is data. We're gonna say simple, but you can go as complicated as you want. It's just the web then. So then you're gonna give me some statistic. I can see them here if I want to.
The
Good.
sources, yeah,
And
super
yeah,
nice.
you see, and this is very good, especially if you're like some people who are very skeptical. They ask you all the stats. You don't have to take the stat. You don't have the time to take the stats because you already have to do the PowerPoint, so it's really tough.
Yeah.
You use that to fill your stat, your presentation, and give like a little bit more sustentation. Because then, what is cool too is that you can grab the source of the stats. It's super easy.
Wow.
You grab it, copy the link, and you put it down, and you say, no, the source is the official Zapier website. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
So this is very good.
super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm learning.
perfect. I'm very happy that you're learning. So yeah, I'm very happy that I just changed because, as I told you, I make a lot of event myself, and this is one of the best tools that I use. For example, we get a little bit out of the no code, but at the same time, it's very good. When people
Mhm.
have a problem and they're like, "Oh, I want to use AI in my business, but I don't know where to start," and they're like, "What are the best solution, or what are the type of solution? Did anybody try to make a process in terms of AI and no code? What can I do if I'm lost a little bit?" And it gives you like up to date information, and this is very good, very good. So I'm very happy that I
Super
had the
nice.
chance to share that with you. I'm gonna try to find another question that I have because I had a lot, but you're blazing fast. You're so fast. I don't have the time
No
to.
worries. Maybe an extra comment on the last one.
Oh yeah, please.
Basically, like there are different levels of no code development. I would say,
Oh, that's true.
like on Make, for example. So we can use Make has like 1,000 apps,
Yes.
and they have like built-in functions, but there are some API functions that exist that they are not part of the of Make. So
Mm,
then you get into the HTTP requests. Well, that's
yes.
like level 2.
Clear.
So you can use the HTTP module to call an API that is not integrated in Make, basically.
Yes.
So that's the level 2. The level 3 that
Hmm.
I was mentioning that I didn't get
Yeah,
yet. I'm
I'm
not
just
even
showing.
sure.
I'm just
Yeah,
showing. No way. I don't want to like break your flow. I should have thought about
no
it,
worries,
but
no worries.
I'm just showing what is
Uh,
possible.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
please.
basically
Yeah.
the HTTP request is for functions that exist by the tools,
Hmm.
but they are not in Make. Um, and then you can even, well, I've been told, like my knowledge hits a limit there, that even if the function don't exist, you
Yes.
can create your own API function, and that's next level. I've never had that need. I'm not even sure if that's legal, if you can like create your own API for tools that you don't own.
Ooh,
But
and you don't own them? Well, if they have a point of entry, because I'm a developer, if they have a point of entry, you can make your API. It's just kind of a cano. How could I say that? It's kind
mhm,
of like a bridge. You're just making a bridge. Your API is takes the content of their API and you're making the bridge to your content. For
okay.
example, it happens a lot when you have some information. You know what? I'm gonna use that imagine as my cano. So let's imagine this is a website which send 50 line of code, and this is your API, your API. But you only need three of those information. You need the title, the creation of the data, and maybe a PDF. You don't want the 50 because the 50 you can't get them because there is no API on Make which can take it from there. So you need something to treat the data. So you can take the data from here because this already
Hmm.
has an API. You take it, you treat it, and then you send it back to Make. This is possible.
Okay.
And what is very cool, and you know what? I'm gonna jump in it on this one. You can do that with webhooks, which I guess you know. Do you know a little bit about webhooks?
Not a lot.
Well,
Excuse me.
what is very cool with webhooks is that you can have like a URL which is gonna send data, and the
Like
data then
same data,
and then well, since I destroyed everything, it doesn't work anymore.
yeah.
But wait, previous version. I have to pick something. There you go. What is cool is then that he send that in JSON and you can retrieve your data with the type of thing like this. This is a
Yeah.
demonstration
Yeah.
like workflow that I did. So this is very cool. But HTTP, I didn't have the time to, didn't have the chance to try too much. So did you try a little bit of HTTP or not?
Yes.
Oh, you
Yes.
did. So how did it work?
Yeah.
Please tell us.
So I'll share a little bit of my biggest challenge with HTTP requests.
Okay.
So I was creating automated YouTube shorts.
Ooh,
Uh, yeah, so it's actually a workflow that I'll get back to it eventually.
yeah.
But YouTube doesn't have a module on Make, so everything was happening through HTTP requests.
Mm,
But you need an OAuth request in order
yes.
to make API calls via YouTube. So this was
Yeah.
my biggest pain with
Yes.
HTTP. So that's how I learned a lot, because it took me weeks, if not more than a month, to to develop this workflow of making like
Yes.
YouTube shorts, like vertical video that was being created automatically. And then, funny enough, after I figured out and it was working,
Hmm.
like a week later or a month later, I don't know.
They created the
Um,
API. No, no, they
n-
did. Okay.
well,
You
almost,
scared
almost.
me a little bit.
No,
Jesus.
it's like they're like third party tools like
Okay.
Buffer that you can schedule
Mm.
and publish content. They introduced YouTube in their own tool, so you could use Buffer to publish on YouTube. You didn't need all the
Oh man.
HTTP requests. Either way, like it was a pain to hear that the solution came up, but I learned how it works.
This is a great opportunity because again, as we said, like we had a lot of limitation because we had some specific need, we had like specific performance, and I was the one in charge. And the problem is that when you don't know the HTTP, the webhook, and another thing that you might want to check out, I'm telling that for you just so you know also the possibilities long term for you, is that you can also integrate that with Lambda. You see, I'm more on the no
Love that.
code side. I'm more on the coding side. I'm on the coding side of the no code
Mhm.
side. It's kind of a oxymoron if you ask, but yeah. And those things are what we call cloud
Lambda.
function. Cloud function can run on your server.
Mm,
This is like all the thing that you call about DevOps. DevOps is cloud function, infrastructure, server. So all of this you can run it into no code, which is crazy when you think about it. You
wow.
can integrate, like, imagine you have a customer which has such an infrastructure already. You tell him, okay, we're gonna optimize and automate part of your process by grabbing the data which pass inside of your server, inside of your functions online, and then we can make a process and throw it to your Airtable.
Yeah,
It's really good,
that's
or your Firebase or whatever, you know.
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't know that.
amazing. Yeah, and
That,
that's
that's
really. I'm very happy to
that's my
share
second.
it. Sorry, go.
Yeah, yeah. It's my second note I take from this meeting. I'm
Oh yeah,
learning.
I'm trying. You know, one of the things that I'm trying because I'm just starting those interview. I do on Paris. I do live and I organize events too. So I can be like, I don't want to show off, but I do like conferences. I do like no code and code. I do on AI and stuff like that. I'm not a big person or anything, but it's just like we organize that because we're passionate. You know, like no
Hmm.
code. You share everything. It's crazy everything that happened, and you want to share your passion. And
Exactly.
I wish I could just at least show you that. It won't work. Sure. Oh, you know what? Sometimes it happens alive. It doesn't work. It's okay.
Mhm.
Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is can you see the screen still?
Yeah.
Did you know? Did you try a little bit of the template part here of make?
No.
So this is very cool. I might teach you something, and I have a
Mhm.
question about your experience behind. So I'm gonna give you the information about the template, and then you're gonna tell me what you think. So what is good with the template is that it doesn't finish when the thing is down; it keeps charging. And what is good is that let's imagine I'm not specialized in LinkedIn, but my customer bother me so much. He wants something about the node and not the technology LinkedIn. I can put the LinkedIn
Wow.
and then I can check what do they have. So just to give you a little bit of idea, I'm gonna give you like a second to see the thing instead of just like running everywhere. So you see sharing LinkedIn, you have
Yeah.
like a little bit of stack. You can have WordPress for. Let's imagine he's telling me something about LinkedIn and Airtable. I know both, but I don't know how to use them. I put both of them, and this didn't work. It's okay, it happens. It's supposed to work. There you go. And so now I have both of them at the same time.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, that's really good, and that's why I have another question for you. Prepare yourself, and then he show you how it works. You can be guided in your work, so you do every step by step,
Hmm.
and then you're pretty good. So first of all, you told me you didn't try this, and it's totally fine. Like there's so much to know about the no code, but how much does something need to be complicated to work? Why do I ask that? Because you saw the thing that I just clicked on, it looked so complicated. So first of all, is it as complicated? Not this one, the big one. Is it as complicated as it seems? And does it need to be complicated to work? Create 80%
Yeah.
of the value. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So going a little bit back, I knew those templates existed.
Yep.
I never really got first, but I didn't know there were so many of them available,
Oh
and I didn't know you could create all those nice filters.
yeah.
Something that I feel, and that's why I didn't get into them. That will probably answer your question. Is I think sometimes you can spend more time understanding an
Mm.
existing workflow than building it yourself from scratch. Because, like most, like for example, yesterday, next time after this call, I have a workflow to build,
Yes.
and yesterday night I was basically just pen and paper, block by block, basically designing in my mind how that workflow is supposed to happen.
Yes.
If something like this appears in front of me, like well it can be just the outline of course, but
Mm.
it may confuse you and it may limitate like what you see as the perfect workflow. And no, it doesn't need to be this complex to work, but some of them have to. Like I have processes that are like three times this that you have on screen,
Free
so it
time
really
this.
depends.
Like okay,
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
Free time, Jesus. Well,
Yeah.
you know what's funny is that I do code and everything looks so well, for example, like this is the one of the most simple thing ever. It's so simple for me. But well, I'm pretty sure if you don't know code, you're like, oh my god, what's happening? But yeah, when
Yeah.
you tell me free time that, I have the same reaction. I'm like, oh my god, because for example, I got some question for you. I'm so sorry, but like,
No worries, no worries.
I don't understand what is this. I barely understand what is a router. You know what I mean? So no, wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna structure the question because we're gonna go everywhere because of me. First of all, okay, could you share with us maybe one workflow that you did so we can understand the scale of it and what did you try to think? How did you start the workflow? How did you develop it? What did you remove and what did you improve? It's a little bit of a long question, but if you could do that, it would be great. And then we could be a
Okay.
little bit in the details of. I will ask you a little bit of what the nodes do. Okay?
Okay, so let me give me just a second to select a
Yeah, no
workflow.
problem, no problem. I'm checking if I asked you all the other question. What do you think about the format of interview until now? Because you're only the third person
I
that
like
shared.
it. I like
Yeah.
it.
All right.
I like
Perfect.
it. It's
Great.
fluid. Is practical.
Good.
Okay. Oh my god, I have so many.
And you're
Which one
gonna
am
have
I?
to tell me also if you're bound by time because also I wanted to show you a
No, it's fine.
solution because you also have a great website. You have a final product which can give the people like a good amount of chance to project themselves with working with you.
Mm,
And I had a lot of questions about this too. So that would be the next question about your solution that you have. Okay.
okay. Um,
I'm gonna remove my
let me.
presentation of screen so you can do that yourself if you need to.
I think this one might be nice. No, this one is too simple.
Is that a problem, sir?
I it's like I want to find a good example that will that will be useful. It will bring more value to the call. Let me see. Maybe okay. Maybe this one.
Gonna load your website at the same time. I'm good at coding, but the problem is that when I see all those purple bubble and the green bubbles, I know that the color means something, but behind that, I'm like, what's happening? Jesus.
I think I have a good example here.
Perfect. You can share your screen if you want. I removed it.
Yeah, I'm sharing. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay, it might look very confusing. So basically, this is not sure if you know ClickUp. Do you
No,
know ClickUp?
I don't. Is it the purple thing that I was exactly talking about?
Maybe.
Jesus.
uh, ClickUp is like it's a project management tool.
Okay.
So Airtable, I love Airtable. Airtable is amazing because it's very simple
Hmm.
so, to show and like to build stuff on top and like forget people started with. It's very simple.
Yes.
ClickUp is like Airtable and much more. It's like Airtable and Asana or Trello.
Mm.
It's like a project management tool with a lot of different options. But either way, I'm not here selling ClickUp.
Ah,
This is an automation. So
yes.
basically, I was building a system on ClickUp, and ClickUp they have built-in automations, but I wanted some functions that they don't have i- in built in. So I
Mm.
basically was using Make, and I
Mm.
had so basically this is a daily automation, and this is a combination of three different automations.
Mm-mm.
So basically, well, trying to simplify. Um, so imagine this: we have a projects overview. So this is an agency that has several projects,
Clear.
and basically, I created a dashboard with all those uh, projects.
Mm.
And basically, what I wanted is like so this top. This is one automation. This is another automation. This branch,
Clear.
and these four are other automations.
Wow, I see that you
And
put
basically,
filters. Sorry to cut you off. By the way, I just
yeah,
wanted to say for people who don't know, daily mean that you can the application run every time daily, and you can see on the bottom left that daily at 2140 launch every day. I
yeah,
see that
yeah.
you have filters. So just to give you an idea, if you could explain what the nodes do, maybe like what is the purpose of the tool, and maybe just go a little bit in detail. So what is the green
Yeah.
bubble do? What is the node do, and what is the gear a little bit at the end every time the tools does at the end. But please
Yeah,
continue with the purpose of the tool first.
yeah. So the purpose, so the first automation that it does, it basically grabs the different projects. It
Mm-hmm.
calculates the amount of time the team spent on that time on that project, and will update the dashboard. Basically, it will
Mm.
calculate how much time the team spent on that project and update the dashboard.
Okay.
So this is time spent and time estimated. So this is one automation. The second automation is for the same project. It will see how many tasks of that project have been completed and will update a dashboard. So basically, so the my client can see the progress of the different projects.
Mm-mm.
And here, very simple. This four at the bottom is basically it's actually I write it on the filter, so it's pretty explanatory. If a task is next week and is not updated, i
Yes.
will I will edit the priority to something like probably is
Ah,
like
je vois.
i
I see. Sorry
I
to
know
speak
it's
in
a
French.
status. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I basically change the status to next week.
Okay.
If a task is this week and is
Yeah.
not updated, I change the status to this week.
Mm-mm.
If the task is in the next 3 days, I'll change the priority to high priority.
Okay.
If
Sorry
if
to
the due
interrupt.
date if the due date has arrived, it's an urgent priority. So basically, this started has three different automations like the time calculation, the
There.
progress calculation,
Mm.
and the priority, and then I combined everything in one. And basically, what this does, like the router, is basically is like a roundabout that allows different paths for your automation to go. That's why the filters come after a router. I can basically can just come here and just give an extra path. if I don't
How
create
did you
a
do that?
filter,
Sorry, I'm so sorry to cut you off. How did you do that?
no worries, no worries.
You
Just
just oh,
click
you
in the
click in the
middle.
middle. Sorry. And how did you
Yeah,
rearrange everything? Because that's a problem I have sometimes.
yeah, auto line.
Auto
Zap.
align. Perfect. I like it. Sorry.
Yeah, so imagine if you are playing with it and this goes here, this goes there, this
Exactly.
goes there, it
Yes.
becomes ugly. Auto align makes everything
Perfect. All right.
super neat, and it's also auto align. So if you have a roundabout with
Yes.
different paths, um, the order is important. So if you have, for example, if you have a router here and you have step A and step B, if you put a function on the top module,
There.
whatever it is, this will happen before this one. Okay, so this is, and actually if you click here with double click or the routes, this
Aha.
say what
Sick.
what's the order of them. So, and if you click on auto align, it will order by the order. So the top one will happen first, and then the bottom one, and so on and so forth. Um, so other two things that might be useful to explain, these are error handlings. So if if this module generates an error, I want it to do a certain thing. If in this case I wanted to ignore the error, what does it
Yes.
mean is, if I didn't have this here,
Yeah.
if an error occurs, it could stop the automation
Very well.
from working. So if I put the ignore here, which means is, even if an error occurs over and over again, it will stop. It will the automation will keep on going,
Hmm.
no matter what. So this is what happens.
I got a question. If, for example, you have a workflow which break one time, he breaks one time, does he make the workflow not work anymore on make, and you have to operate on it, or is it he doesn't work one time, but the next person which called it where the workflow will always be okay?
Yeah, that's a good question. You can manipulate this with error handling.
Yes.
So if there's a model that is generating errors, you can specify what happens when an error occurs. But by default, it will keep running 3 times. So, if, for example, if you have it happen every hour,
Yes.
um, if it reaches 3 errors in a row, it will deactivate the automation.
That's good to know. That's really good to know. I'm very happy
Yeah,
that you had the chance and the expertise, let's say, the
yeah,
expertise to answer this question. Very
yeah.
specific. Like, you're better
Yeah,
than AI right now.
yeah, it's experimental knowledge because a lot of my automations they just stop. For example,
Yeah,
if
I
I go
was
here,
thinking if you have like a customer and you put something in place because people, especially because you're a freelancer, I work with a lot of freelancer, independent, a lot of startup, and they say, yeah, I want you to put a solution in place, but what if you go out of business? Not you, but like a startup. Out of business happen all the time. They're like, I want the server
Mhm.
to work. I want if you go somebody who know the thing, it works too. So yeah, the fact that you told me that and you already put in place ignore for like path, it's very smart of you. Very smart of you.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Um, and maybe you were asking earlier like about the arrays. This
Yes.
is a little bit complex to
Maybe the tool first because I see that every answer I think it's way more important maybe than the array. Array for me is a list of information when you put input. Is that the same?
Yeah, exactly. But what did you ask? You rather me to show the
So
tool?
so the tool you see the screwdriver and the gear like this. It's the second
Ah, the
node.
tool.
Yes.
This
Yes.
this.
Exactly.
Yeah. So these actually these are all like built-in functions basically.
Ah, so you
This
can
is all
set.
by
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. This is by make. This is makes tools.
That's
So for
phenomenal.
example, I have two here that I use a lot. So
Yes.
one that I use is set variable. So for example, this tool. So basically, I have a list of services, and ClickUp, the output comes into code, and I don't want code. So basically, set variable is basically some I can. Let me give you another
Either
example.
you
This
can
is
go
a little bit
complicated or simple. Like no worry with that.
Um, you were saying earlier about the context.
Yes.
Let me show you. Maybe it's maybe it's easier. So I have
It might be a complicated question. You tell me if because that might be just too advanced because I didn't know that you could set variable sweep, make some switch. I don't know if you all realize how
yeah,
much possibility he adds. I guess you do, but I didn't know how much possibility he adds to no code to have those tools because this is prime coding tools. You set the variable, you change it, you get it, you
yeah,
switch your
yeah,
path depending on the variable that you enter. This is so many
yeah,
things that you can do with that.
exactly,
This is great.
exactly.
This is great.
So for example, this is well, it's an email marketing generation automate. It's like a generator,
Yeah.
and basically I'm generating email marketing campaigns to one of my brands.
Good.
And what I have so basically in these AI modules I have the context, but there's like on the context there's certain things that I want, they are fixed, and I want, for example, I sell templates on Make, and I want people that are not very savvy to be able to use it. So basically I just instruct, like, you just, for example, in this case, I create a set variable, and this is the only thing they have to interact with. They don't have to go to every module to change the context. It just, for example, in this case, I have brand rules. So basically, you can just replace these to your brand rules, for example. Well, this doesn't really matter. If you have want a specific CTA, so, or for example, this is like I don't know, context, past success stories. So basically, I can create in this case is a set multiple variables.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm giving a template to someone, I just instruct them, you click on this module and you replace those variables,
Oh, that's
and they
amazing.
don't have to do anything else to the rest of the flow, because that flow will take in consideration those variables um, that were inputted by the user. Other tools that I use this is one is a very simple. It's a sleep.
Yes.
So, for example, on ClickUp, well, every tool I think they have an API limit for the amount of functions you can call per minute,
Yes.
and sometimes the automations is running too fast, and I hit the limit. That's an error. So
Okay.
I just added like a 5 second sleep, 5 second sleep
Oh, that's
for
amazing.
every.
This is a delay. I didn't know that you could do
Yeah,
that. Oh, that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
sometimes you have
yeah,
API, sometimes you have problem, you have time. Okay, no, that's really good. Really good.
yeah.
I think you
Others
talked
that
enough of this. Like, I don't want to like to talk take all your time on this. I think also I want to
no
talk
worries, no
about your
worries, no worries.
business because I think that you have a lot of things to offer, and I want to share
Yeah.
my screen. Can I share my screen, please? Can I share my screen? There
Yes.
you go. First, I want to show you something that could help you in your quest to help everybody with no code. I don't know if you know that, but what you showed me was a lot of the thematic of scalability. How can you scale
Mhm.
the schema? How can you deploy it to everybody? I don't know if you know that, but if you go on the trigger of make, you can get your scenario, get the blueprint of the scenario. You can get your list of scenarios that you have, and it gives you a list. And at the end, you I know that you can. I don't remember exactly how, but I know that you can. You know what? I'm gonna go back to make. You know how much time it takes to find all the API. You can deploy everything from a list. I don't remember which one, but you see all the API that they have. So if you
Yeah,
have
they have a lot.
for scalability for you, you can just grab your scenario and deploy them for one of your customer. That would be very good. Run, I
Yeah,
think it is. So that's just something that I
yeah,
wanted to show you.
yeah.
Last thing that I would like to talk to you about is that when we see your website, what I love about your website,
Oh,
uh,
it's not working very well on. That's a big screen.
yes,
What? It's
wait,
not working very well.
is it not? Wait, I'm gonna go on
No,
inspect. So this is
there's something that is not working well.
for phone. I don't know if that's what you want to see.
It's not okay. There's something broken.
Okay, no, I will tell you.
I,
I check it out and I love it. So please don't be mean of it. No. So, oh,
it's
I
because
see the
maybe
CSS here. There is a problem.
yeah, like the spaces are not ideal, but I think it's just because you have a big screen.
That's
Mm,
possible. I can like I have a 2K, so that's maybe why. Oh, it's okay.
yeah.
So no worries.
Either way.
The style is okay if we want. What I was very impressed about is the fact that you deployed a solution. Ah, yeah, you're right. Oh wait, maybe if I just
No,
reload. because stuff that it was
No,
different.
there's no.
This morning it was different. I know that. No worry.
It's looking so ugly.
Oh, I
No.
am so sorry. Wait, I'm gonna
No
try.
worries. No worries.
I'm gonna try to reload it. No worry. We're gonna try again until it works. Ah, no, it
Maybe it's
still doesn't work. God damn it. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna still talk like
no
it
worries.
was the greatest thing ever seen. So I remember,
Nice, thanks.
I remember. I think no, it was not here. You had a multiple bubble which explained the package that you have, and I was like, "That's amazing." The guy has a final product where it's what we call plug and play. Is that I have my solution, I can deploy them for you. I have like six different offers. I'm trying to find on your LinkedIn because that's where I saw it. You have six offer. They oh, there you go. It's not the website, but it's kind of the idea of it. There you go. Oh man, what happened? Wait. Oh, sorry. I guess I grabbed the wrong page. How did I do that? There you go. So you had a 10
Mhm.
workflow automatic. I don't remember seeing the price, but you explained the goal, you explained what's gonna happen, you explained how you put it in place, and I thought it was amazing. So first of all,
In
damn
the
it.
world of digital.
Sorry, was like maybe
Nice.
we're gonna find your website. You know what? Sometime it happened. I can't see your website. Ah, that's so sad. But yeah, you have a final product. It's plug and play. So that I mean that if your customer want to come see you, you say that's what I want. You can put that for him, and then you can do custom above it. So first of all, I
Mhm.
wanted to know in terms of no code, the fact that you have this final product, which is plug and play, pretty easy to deploy, easy to understand. Does it drive a lot of customer to work with you? Because again, I met a lot of people in no code and they say they can do everything, but they don't have a final product plug and play. And how much do
Mhm.
people start with a plug and play and they go for customized offer?
For customers.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, the brand is fairly new. I started it with the templates. So basically, I was doing custom development, and even though I learned a lot, I wanted to scale, and my time is not scalable. So I had to create. I had to create. I had this idea to create these templates, which is basically a plug and play product, and that's the start. That's what is getting more people, more customers to flow shift.
Mhm.
And then I want my custom development to be an upsell, because I still like the development. I don't want to be a CEO. I like the development, the engineering part. So yes, it's bringing me now it's looking better.
Yes.
Nice.
Hey, I told you I would make it. I took a little bit of time, but I finally made it work. I don't want to click anything. But there you go.
I think it was I just cleared the cache on the server, so
Oh,
maybe
you did. That's
that was,
oh my
yeah, I did.
Jesus. I can't believe that that would be that. All right. I'll let you talk. Sorry.
So yeah, basically, yes, I'm basically giving like an entry point so people can just deploy by themselves, because there's a lot of people that
Mm.
if they are searching for solutions, some people just believe they can do it themselves. So I allow that possibility. Like, you can just download this and you implement it yourself.
Oh, you
I
don't make
record.
them pay. Sorry to cut you off. I thought that you made them pay for that, or is it like you deploy them by yourself and stuff like that? What do you say?
So there are several cases. So if you scroll up, the first two. So for example, that one is a plug and play. That's a template. So
Mm.
when you buy it, I basically you get a document, which is, it's a template in Make, and a
Yeah,
video of me explaining how you can do it yourself.
that's amazing.
That's one. And then the bundle, that client management bundle that I've showed you, this is a little bit different. It's pre-made, but it's not just you cannot implement it yourself, because there's like 10 different automations, and I have probably to adapt to your system. So it's kind of, it's templated, but it also needs some custom work.
Yeah, I see because I see activation immediately. I do
Do it yourself.
directly. I don't know say but like right away,
Yeah.
and then I see 2 or 4 weeks, and you say customize system. I love the idea that you find something easy, like maybe I think it's what they call like a product to get you your foot in the door. Like they discover you,
Yeah.
they're like one click, super easy solution. You sell it for really cheap also because we saw the price. I think I saw 25 euros.
Yeah.
This is a great product because then they discover, they see the result, and then if they need, they can take like some time with you And also I love
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
value. You're gonna save 80%. You identify the pain point as proposal, onboarding of customer, product management. This is great. I love I did marketing, so I guess everybody in Nomad community, because I met a lot of Nomad like coders and stuff like that. I think you did really good. Like you did really good. Simplify. I love like the pain point
Yeah,
again. You
nice.
identify
Thanks.
different things. No, that's really good. That's really good. And I wanted to know then. Usually, when people arrive on your solution, do they go for something more simple? You think, or they think, oh, that's amazing that the guy is very competent. I can check the video. I saw 200 view, which is not nothing. 200 view. He explained how the workflow. He seems to be very competent. You know what? I wanted the small package. Sorry, I have so many of your website open. I'm trying to find the right one. I'm gonna take the bigger aspect. I'm very curious how much people like
Yeah.
shift to like this. Okay.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, so this has a little bit of story. Like that first template, the AI email assistant, I used it as a trial on another brand that I have, and I have another YouTube video, the exact same, explaining the exact same flow. But that one got really popped off.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna send you in a minute. But either way, so I tried. So I have another brand that is about digital nomad. It has nothing to do with automation. I just
Mm,
tried, here's how to automate your email. Here's an AI email assistant,
yes.
and it got like it got thousands of views, and it got a lot of sales. So I was like, maybe there's something here. So that's why I created FlowShift.
Yes. That's very
So I
smart
used
actually.
my
Yes, sir.
I used my old brand. I used my old brand to try, and then I created FlowShift, and then it has been my focus. It's just like, because I have like more than 100 automations, and I'm just trying to simplify them and productize them, making it possible for people to deploy themselves. And I want that to be the focus. Basically, productize my own automations.
Yes.
And if people want my custom work, which I'm from everyone that got my template for me, they know they can hire me.
Mm-mm.
But that's not my focus, because my time is limited. And even though I like the engineering part, it's not very scalable to be selling my time. So I'm focusing on like what I've developed for my own brands. I'm just
Mm.
making it out there so people can get them.
I like what. Okay, so I think I took enough of your time. Like I thought it would
No,
be shorter, but actually, like we had so much things to talk about. So I really appreciate
that
the
was
time.
fun.
I had like a little last point that I wanted to share with you. One of the things that we do usually in marketing and in product, not project, but product management, is especially with startup and stuff like that. When you're discovering a market, when you are like building new product every time, it's not just one product. You take it, it's just that. It's we develop a personalized solution, customized solution, and then we grab them and we figure out how can we make them plug and play. So you take the time that somebody's paying you to develop their solution, kind of a R&D, like you researching
Hmm.
and developing and deploying. You take the time that they take from you, and then you think, how can I deploy it on the other end? That would be a good
Yeah,
idea for you. Maybe I think maybe you already thought about it, but I think that would be good. Somebody pay
yeah,
you
I
for
like
to
it. I
research,
like it.
It's
Yeah,
another thing. All right,
I like it.
I had a great time. I learned a lot. I hope that I
Yeah,
asked
me
question
too.
which was simple and complicated, so you brought a lot of things. I will give you the video. We'll stay in touch if anything, And yeah, that was really good. That was really good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a pleasure.
All right, all right. Thank you, Miguel, and I see you in the next video. No, exaggerate. I
Yeah,
don't know to end this thing yet, but yeah, it was really good. All right, have a
yeah, it
nice
was fun.
weekend.
Yeah, yeah, you too. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.